record this and take it from there. But basically, you know, before we start off, we kind of just ask you guys to, you know, kind of like just be here with us tonight. You know, I want to see as many faces as possible. If you're like in the shower, you know, don't like put your camera on, you know what I'm saying? But like, if you can be here and just be present, because me, Allie, and Marley are going to really open up and be vulnerable with you guys, not just ourselves, but we're also going to ask you guys as well. I'm not sure. I know we did, I like edited the post after I posted it to bring sticky notes. If you guys don't have sticky notes, you can literally just use a piece of paper. A lot of the things that we've done like throughout the weeks with them, I wasn't 100% prepared for, but you want to be practicing these things after this is done too. So it's okay if you don't have that. Allie, I don't know if you want to continue or say anything else along those lines.
I guess just the biggest thing, you guys, is to make sure you're coming to this Zoom with an open mind. You're really going to take in what we're saying and apply it. It's so easy to hop on a Zoom and kind of zone out or, you know, not pay attention and be like, oh, I know this already. But repetition is so important. So even if you just get like one nugget from this, it's going to be worth it. And if there's something that's resonating with you, like, please be loud in the chat. Like, we know it's not easy to be open and vulnerable, but it helps other people. So even if you can't do it for yourself, do it for other people, and it'll help you open up more too.
Yeah, I love that. And, you know, a lot of the stuff that we're going over has to do with like what we're physically doing right now, like me talking or Allie or Marley and you guys being on and being present. And a lot of this stuff we're still practicing and learning too, but like we want to share this with you guys, right? So again, with us like opening up and being vulnerable, we just ask you, I mean, unless you can't like handle that, we're not going to like ask you to do anything crazy. You know, I want this to be worth it, and I want us all to just like really grow together and embrace that. Marley, you want to say anything?
No, because I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Okay, no problem. I just don't want to leave you out. Okay. Allie, do you want to start or do you want me to start and then we'll take it from there? It's totally up to you.
You can start.
Okay. So the first thing that we're going to go over, and again, guys, this is like a small chunk of what we've been learning, and we are just learning this too. So give us a little break, like I said before. So the first thing, again, we're going to start talking about is about easy wins, right? So what do I mean by that? Basically, essentially, starting your day off with an easy win. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with this waiting room. So I'm going to give an example, cannot speak, and then we're going to go more into it. So for example, waking up, who woke up today and made their bed? That was the first thing that they did. Be honest, type in the chat. Be honest and say no if you didn't. Yikes. Okay. Love the honesty. Love it. And this is something that's really important to you guys. And we're going to go like more into depth about really being honest and being vulnerable, because if you're not, then how are you going to like fix these things? Right. And this was something that me and the girls were talking about before. It's like, I've never opened up and I've been so honest and vulnerable with myself. And truly, that was what has been holding me back in so many shapes or forms. Okay. So going into this, I want to tell you guys about the Done app. I don't know if you've heard of that. Literally, it's DONE. It's free for like the first, I don't know, what is it, 2 or 3 like tasks. Thank you. Yeah, Allie's showing you guys. I'm not sure if you can see her screen or what view you have with this Zoom. I can show you too. This is what it looks like. Like I said, you can put, so basically, long story short, it's literally the most simple app you'll ever use in your life. And I paid for it so I can have multiple, but I only have 4 things right now. And essentially what it is starting off and creating a small habit, right? So although I have 4 things, right, on this, these like slowly grew, and you guys are going to, some of you are going to laugh on about how silly and simple some of these are, but I'm not even kidding you. It's been challenging for me. Like I missed 2 days already out of the month, but it's something that's like so tiny. So I'm going to give you guys an example. 15 push-ups and 15 sit-ups daily. I missed 2 days out of this month already for that, right? 2 days. Isn't that crazy? Something that's so stinking small. I don't have making my bed on there, to be honest with you, because Aaron works third shift. So he makes it every day, but that's an example for you guys. Another thing I have on here is my celery for this month, because I wanted to do a celery challenge for myself. And I'm sure many of you already know that because you've joined in. If you haven't, check out my Instagram, join in with us. But that was just a goal for me. Another one is sleep minimum 78 hours minimum. And then another one is self-dev for a half hour a day. So again, if you're someone who wants to create this habit of like making your bed, right? Don't put making your bed and then add on like 5 different things. So like make bed, have celery, have skinny brew, post on story. I am talking like one thing so simple. Allie, I don't know, Allie or Marley, I don't know if you want to add to this right now.
Yeah, so for example, you want it to be something that you're setting yourself up to succeed, right? Because the whole point of it is that you get to celebrate the small wins, and that's going to create momentum to get more wins throughout the day, right? So mine was I was being super lazy and I was just throwing, not literally throwing, but putting my dogs out back for them to go to the bathroom in the morning because it's cold now. I don't want to go outside, but instead I made my win to bring them for a walk. Literally, it doesn't have to be a long walk, but I put them on their leash and walk them to go to the bathroom every single day now. So now when I do that, I'm like, yay, I have a win. And it makes me want to do and accomplish more things because I'm celebrating those little things. So even if you're like, I don't know, one of mine is literally to put on jeans instead of wearing like sweatpants every single day, is to like actually get dressed because I feel better when I actually get dressed. It doesn't matter how small or silly it is. Maybe it's putting on makeup, or maybe for me, like guys, like I haven't even brushed my hair today. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's like little things like that though that maybe you're not used to doing, but it's going to make you feel good. So it doesn't matter how small or silly it feels, like put it down, because when you start accomplishing that consistently, then you can build up to even bigger things, but start small.
Yeah. And then like for me, one of my small goals, and I mean, I don't even know if it's like small or not, but for me, like exercising 30 minutes a day is like a huge win for me. Even if I'm just going on a walk with a friend at the reservoir, or I'm a nanny, so I'll take the girls on a walk to put them to sleep, or I don't know, I'll like dance and release some energy in my bedroom, like whatever it is. It's just like a small win for me because I feel like once I get my body moving, like I feel good and it makes me more productive, I guess. So that's what I do for my small win.
So I love how Marley said working out half hour a day is like a huge goal for you, because reality has it, when it, like, all in all, what it comes down to, like, we all have these goals. Like, I want to work out a half hour a day, but like, and it seems so simple in my head sometimes, but if I think back, how many days and months have I actually done that consistently? Probably since college, because I played softball in college and I was made to, like, I had no other option, right? So I've realized over time with myself and going through this, training and learning this stuff, that a lot of these habits that I'm trying to pick up for myself are just so big, and sometimes even if they're small, but a bunch of them are overwhelming and they become a job to me, right? And it doesn't work out. Well, I mean, for me specifically, it doesn't necessarily work out because I end up overwhelming myself because I have 2 bad days. And working out for me, this is my personal story, working out for a half hour on 2 bad days that I have is, I know, going to throw me off for more than just 2 days, right? So I know if I'm sick, or if something happens in my life, that I can still get done 15 push-ups and 15 sit-ups. And that's just where I'm starting at. So again, another thing too is, guys, you also like, my goals maybe, or my habits I want to create can be completely different than a ton of yours, right? So if it's, again, literally just making your bed, if like focus on that as your win. This exercise is really just to get you like up and like feeling good, not physically getting up, but like mentally, I guess, and just feeling good for you to move on with your day, but also thinking back like, okay, I did that. Like I made my bed this morning, right? Does that make sense? All right, cool. Anything I'm missing there, girls? I think we did. We're good. All right, guys, and please feel free to, I know some of you dropped yours in the chat, but the first thing that pops up, I was like, this was a little hard for me. Some of these things that we've gone over, because there's, like I said, we have so many goals. I have so many habits I want to create, right? So, I mean, really my best advice is the first thing that pops up in your head, you know, and just running with that. But again, if you want to share some in the group chat, or please share what you want to put or what you want to use in this app, for like your first habit that you want to create, so we can all cheer each other on. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to go over, and they all kind of like they work together, right, is the app is called, sorry, someone just asked me in private message. The app is called Done, literally D-O-N-E app. I love that, self-development, so good. Read out loud. Okay, we're getting some 20-minute workout. Read at least one chapter of self-development a day. More haps every day. Kim, love it. And guys, get like specific, right? So instead of saying self-development, if you're someone who just never self-develops and this is just a habit you want to create, then start with literally 10 minutes a day, right? Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't make this as if it's going to be a job for you to a point, you know what I'm saying? And then once you've created that habit, boost it up to 15 minutes and then 20 minutes, right? Or into what your long-term goal is. Or if it's host to post, right? So be specific. If getting up 10 a day and looking at that KPI is so overwhelming to you, then start with 4 minimum a day or 3 and take it from there, right? This isn't supposed to be some, like, again, you don't want to think as if like, oh, I gotta do this, right? You want it to be semi-ish easy at first. I love these, they're all coming in. 15 minutes earlier. I love that so much. No snoozing. Okay, I actually, really quick, I'm getting off, but the no snoozing and getting up earlier, this is something that like I've been doing. Guys, I put my phone charging across my room or in my bathroom, right? Because I'm up, and like the odds of me getting back in bed are a lot more slim than they were if I can just like snooze it and don't have to move, right? So that's just a quick tip. Okay. All right, so the next one that we're going into is energy, right? And if you guys have been getting on Zooms with me recently in the last few weeks, or like any lives, I've been talking about this, right? And this is huge because for myself, many of you may know, many of you may not, I have struggled with anxiety and depression a lot in my life and in my future, and still to this day. And this is something that is so huge and been like the biggest punch in the face. And everyone's situation is different. So don't think as if like I'm comparing, I'm literally just speaking about myself, right? But energy, right? So I don't know if you guys keep noticing what I'm doing, but I keep going like this, right? Because every time I'm looking around at you guys and I look at myself quick, I notice this slowly, right? And then I keep fixing myself. This is huge. And if you guys have listened to like if you've listened to Tony Robbins, you've most likely heard him talk about standing up and putting your shoulders up and putting your head up and just like looking up, right? And this is something that sounded so silly to me, but the energy, but like and how you are when you're slunched and just chilling like this, or sitting on a couch, or I don't know, in your bed, versus if you were standing up, or just me actually doing Zooms at my desk now in my office and not in my bed, has made a tremendous change for myself. And again, it may seem a little like small and silly, but it makes a huge difference, right? Another thing is Zooms, lives, group pages, group chats, right? The energy you give, you receive. So I've been really prominent on telling you guys, blow up this chat. When Allie was talking before, she said, what did you say? Anything you hear, like repeat it in the chat, something along those lines. If I say something, or Allie or Marley or someone says something that resonates with you, type it in the chat, right? Just like keep the energy up. Something that KK mentioned, because we're working in a group page with her, she's like, if you're scrolling through that group page, like, and someone goes live in there, or someone makes a post, or someone does a shout out, any way, shape, or form, you hit that like button or you make a comment, right? Not only does that like make you feel good, but it's gonna make that person feel good too, right? And again, energy is contagious, guys. It's contagious, right? Allie, do you want to continue? You want to give some more examples?
Me or Marley?
Yeah, well, you or Marley, one of you.
Oh, fine. It like sounded the same for a second.
Talk forever, so I need to stop myself a little bit.
Well, it's hard because it's like, it's so exciting, you guys. And I know that it almost sounds like obvious, right? But then you hear it and you're like, wait. So something that really resonated with me, and I'm listening to an audio program from Tony Robbins too, and he was actually just talking about this, is a lot of us have in our head the idea of what a confident person looks like, right? When you think of a confident person, how do they stand? How do they walk? How do they talk? How they have eye contact, right? How do they speak? Then when you think of, say, a depressed person, you probably have an idea in your head of what that depressed person looks like. And our physiology is so important, and this is something they ingrain into you, is that you can control your physiology. And it's just like Emily was saying, you control the way you feel by how you move your body. So for example, if you're feeling tired, if you're exhausted, energy or movement creates energy, right? So if you're tired, all you have to do is literally put your shoulders back or go walk around, do a little dance. Like I used to laugh. Stacy, if she's on here, shout out to her. She would always text us and be like, do you want to dance it out? And we get on Zoom and start dancing. And then all of a sudden you're full of energy, right? So you can't be a victim to the way that you feel. You have to take control of it. So on those days where you're really groggy and you feel like you don't have the energy, you can create the energy. And this was something that literally blew my mind, because if you guys know me, when I babysit, I have to get up really early. And Jesse it's like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I'm creating energy because I'm not tired. Like, it's fine. And then he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm great. I'm just moving around. But it was weird because I was literally waking up at like 3:45 and lasting until 10 p.m. without napping and like not even being tired, because I was just creating that energy. It was like I was high off of my own vibes, and it was like the best feeling ever. And I think sometimes we just need that reminder of like, it's so easy to get down on ourselves and throw ourselves a pity party, just be like, oh, I'm just so tired today. But you can control that. And once you learn that and you learn how to do that, it's literally like you'll never go back to being the same.
Yeah. So going off of that, one thing that I learned to do like really quick, just like watching KK and like being present in her Zooms, like literally she stands every single Zoom. She stands for the entire, and they're like 2 hours long. the entire time she is standing, and she's so full of energy and she's so captivating. And it makes you want to literally like eyes locked on the screen the whole entire time. So one thing that I started to implement was standing. So literally I don't sit at my desk anymore for her Zooms. On this Zoom, I'm standing. Like it literally, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel more engaged. It makes me feel more present, and like my energy is higher and I just feel better. I used to find myself like sitting at my desk hunched, like Emily said, like hunched over, my head was down. So now I'm standing up, my shoulders are back, my iPad is like higher than it would be at my desk. I'm not like looking down at my iPad. Like I'm sitting up, I'm present, I'm more focused, and it like carries into like what I'm doing after the Zooms too. Like as soon as the Zoom would end, I'd be like, wow, I'm tired, I'm going to bed. But like now that I'm more present, I'm more focused, I'm more like awake and alert. I want to get more work done after my Zooms. So I think it's just a huge thing. And it's literally just like this small shift that I made was literally just taking my chair away and standing up. And that was literally all I had to do.
I love that. And I was talking a little bit about this before, and I'm always going to keep going back because, like I said, it all relates. It's like we all have these different goals. So for me, if you guys didn't notice, I said it was big for me to go from doing Zooms and trainings and whatnot, or self-dev or working from my couch or my bed to my office. Like this was a lot for me. You know how much money I paid for this computer and this like decor of my office that I don't freaking sit in? First off, like come on, and then that was my first like, what are you doing? And now my goal is to do what Marley's doing. Like I need to stop making excuses and figure out a way where I can stand up and put this massive computer on somewhere else and figure it out, put some books underneath or whatever, I'll figure it out, right? So, have these goals and use them to like use all of ours or everyone else's to motivate you to get to that point, right? What a difference in making a small shift. Yeah, so they actually talk about the shift being 2 millimeters. So I'm not sure if you guys saw that. Yep, right, 2 millimeter shift, right? So how small is 2 millimeters? This is like the tiniest thing ever. Yeah, so they do make adjustable desks. I gotta get more of those. All right. Awesome. Are you guys enjoying this so far? We're gonna get to like some more active stuff soon. Awesome. Love it, love it, love it. And for like, I was like seeing people's comment about sleeping. Like, we're not saying that Tony Robbins or like this girl KK or me, Allie, and Marley get 3.5 hours of sleep every night. It's not how it works. Like I told you guys, one of my habits was actually to do 7, 8 minimum because I had horrific and still kind of do sleeping habits, right? So obviously your health is very important, but these are just specific goals for each and every one of us, right? Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna go into more depth, and this is what you guys need something to write with and a piece of paper, whatever you can find. So take a couple seconds and we're gonna go into more in depth of disempowering beliefs, disempowering thoughts that are leading to these patterns that we have literally created for ourselves, which is one of the hardest things that I personally had to swallow, because everything that's happening to me is because of me, right? So I talked before a little bit about my anxiety and depression, and I realized in the last few weeks that a lot of these things are because of the habits that I picked up that I do every single day, right? So we're going to get more into this. Are you guys good? Do you have something to write with? Pen and paper? I want you guys to be writing this too. Like, I don't want you to like be typing in the notes in your phone. Like, you gotta like, you need your hand moving. Even if it's your iPad, I write on my iPad a lot, but you need it moving. There's still people hopping on. I love this. Allie, would you mind taking over a little bit from here and starting us off with this.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So, first of all, I want you to, guys, I used to be a teacher, so welcome to Note Central. First things first, I want you to write this down. Beliefs, okay? They're the feeling of absolute certainty you have about something. So, a belief is the feeling of absolute certainty you have about something. Our beliefs that we have shape everything that we do. It shapes the way that we show up. It shapes the actions we take or don't take. It shapes what we say, who we talk to. Literally, it shapes everything that we do. So there's like a lot that comes into it, right? So what I want you to think about right now is, where are you in life? Okay. And then I want you to think about, where do you want to go? When you close your eyes and you picture your dream life, what do you see? What do you look like? How much money are you making? Do you live in a house? Are you married? Do you have a family? Like, what does your dream life look like? Okay. And now I want you to be aware of the feelings that come up. What thoughts are popping into your head as you start dreaming? Are you saying, I really want that house, but I could never afford it. I don't deserve to live in a big house. Oh, I'm greedy if I want more. I should be comfortable with what I have. I'm not a leader. I'm not a strong leader, so I could never go diamond, right? I'm not good at talking to people. I don't have a big following, so I can't promote. I haven't used this product yet, so I can't sell it, right? What thoughts are coming to your mind? And I want you to write them all down. All of them. I can type some more in the chat if you feel comfortable. This is where I was talking about being vulnerable and being willing to share. I know it's uncomfortable, you guys, but these are some of the thoughts that I had. I can write them down. Who am I to think that I'm capable of going presidential diamond, right? I'm just little old Allie O'Neill. Who do I think I am to have these big goals and dreams, right? I'm not confident enough. I'm not a good leader. I'm not special. I'm comfortable where I am. I don't want to be greedy. What about the fear? What if people don't appreciate me? What if people judge me? What if people stop talking to me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if people laugh at me, right? All of those what ifs. The fear of, what if I get there and I lose it? Or what if, my friends don't want to be friends with me anymore? What if I outgrow people, right? These are all fears. I'm too young. People won't take me seriously. Worried I'll make the wrong decision. My anxiety and depression limit my success. How can I sell weight loss products? Look at me. Am I a leader? I have a great life. Now I dreamt of where I am. I'm being selfish for wanting more. My stress sometimes gets in the way of my success. One hit wonder. Worried my family doesn't support me truly. My why isn't big enough. First of all, I applaud each and every one of you for sharing these. Like, this is so powerful, and I want you to give yourself a pat on the back for being vulnerable, for being honest, because do you know how many people relate to what you're saying? I want you to realize that you are not alone. Having disempowering, having limiting beliefs is part of being a human being, and it does not matter how much success you've had or how long you've been in this business or what you're doing in life. You're a human being. Like, and even KK and Tony Robbins have limiting beliefs because we're a human being. With every level, we're like onions and we're always pulling back more layers, right? So I don't want you to think that there's something wrong with you for having these beliefs. This is normal. But the first step is we have to be aware of these beliefs so we can figure out how to overcome them, right? Because, like I said, a belief is feeling of absolute certainty. So you telling me that these are your beliefs, they're going to judge me. I'm failing my dreams. They're going to judge me. How am I going to get that many people to believe me? I've hit my peak, right? So you're telling me that these are absolutely certain. Who told you these things? Where's the proof that these are true? Did someone knock on the door, call you up and say, hey, you're not worthy. You're a failure. I'm judging you. No, there is no proof. These are lies that we tell ourselves. And something that KK talks a lot about is being in the dance. Okay. And what being in the dance means, it's when we come across these moments in time where we have to decide, are we going to push through and keep going towards our dreams, or are we going to retreat back to comfort and stay where we are? Okay. And so a lot of times when we're in these moments, these are the thoughts that start to come up. Okay. And the easiest way to know if a belief is limiting or empowering is typically the first thoughts that come up, the easiest thoughts to have are disempowering. Why? Because whatever you believe in, the enemy doesn't want you to succeed, right? They want you to stay in your little bubble. It's easier to stay in your little bubble, but I want you to look at it this way. Is it truly easier? Is it easier being in the same spot you're in right now, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, 5 years down the road? Is feeding into these disempowering thoughts truly easier? No. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at all of these thoughts. And I want you, and you might have to come back to this on your own time. But right now I want you to go and look at these thoughts and tell me, where's the proof, right? Chances are there is no proof of these thoughts. And I want you to rewrite these limiting beliefs in the positive. So for example, some of them that I had was, I'm going back. All right. For example, I'm not disciplined, right? Instead, I wrote, I focus on my priorities, right? Instead of saying, I get distracted, I'm scatterbrained. I'm disciplined on the things that matter to me. Because think about it. You guys brush your teeth every day, right? You're disciplined with that because it matters. You don't want to get a cavity. You don't want to have bad breath. You get dressed every day, right? Go to work probably, or school or class, because it matters to you, right? So there's proof right there that you're disciplined. Was there a time in your life, okay, I have no courage. I'm sure there's a time in your life that you were courageous. You sharing that right now was courageous. That was brave, because I bet you felt a little bit of fear typing that, but you hit enter anyways. That was courage right there. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's feeling that fear and deciding to do it anyways. Fear is never going to disappear. It is always there. But it's that moment of being in the dance. Are you going to go towards it or retreat back? Right? And that's when you have moments of courage. So I encourage you guys to go through that list that you just wrote down and find the proof and write it in the positive. Because I promise you, if you look hard enough, there is an example of the opposite. It doesn't even matter if you have to go back. In the Zoom, she was talking about someone, she's like, all right, well, when you were like 8 years old and you went to your gymnastics class, like, I don't care how far you have or how deep you have to dig, there is evidence there. You just have to be willing to look for it. You feel too old, right? Or you feel too young, you feel too old. Okay, but that means you have knowledge, you have wisdom. You know what you're doing, right? You get to help people who have been through things that you've already experienced. You're too young. Okay, you have a fresh perspective. You're excited, right? There's always a way to spin it. So why are we going to limit ourselves to these things when really those can be our powers? Right? They don't have to be what holds us back. They can be what propel us forward. For example, I'm not confidence. Confidence is something I've always struggled with. And I think it's because I've always struggled because I thought girls that were confident just like had something that I didn't, until I realized that literally everything you need is already inside of you. You just have to learn how to channel it. That person who radiates confidence is no different than you, except that they choose to embody their confidence. So it's just, what choice are you making? Okay. And so first, and I know Marley is going to talk about this, but we have to become aware of our thoughts, and then we have to investigate them. All right. And then Marley, I'll let you go over that because I don't want to.
No, that was so, so good. And one thing I thought of as you were talking was why like Tony Robbins started like this whole, I don't know if it's a movement or what to call it, but this whole thing to begin with was he wanted to know like the difference between failure and success. And what he's found is it is literally our beliefs. And these beliefs might not even be true, which is so crazy that something that we think to be true in our brains is literally what's holding us back from being successful. And like as soon as we are aware of them and we're able to rewrite them and declare them, like our whole life might change. And like that might just be the thing that you need to succeed. So that's one thing that we're going to get into. Something that KK always preaches is life works for us, not to us. So like we are creating our lives, like our lives are not just happening to us and we can't do anything about it. Like these beliefs are beliefs because we created them and because we think they're true, but they're really not if you really think about it. So that's when you start investigating your beliefs and you really get into like that dance that Allie was talking about. Like either you can go back and be comfortable and decide maybe not to take that extra step, or you can literally feel so anxious and so nervous and like you're gonna throw up and like you're gonna poop your pants, but you're gonna do it anyways, because if that little shift is gonna get you to where you need to be, like I could have easily said no to Emily to doing the Zoom tonight, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put my big girl pants on and I'm gonna speak because why not? So it's just that. So it's just that little thing that's like, you want to investigate your beliefs. When you're in the dip, you want to ask yourself, is what I'm investigating true? Like, is this belief like, oh, I'm not a good leader? Is that true? Like, is that someone told you that? And like, that's the truth. That's just like a fact. Like, no, that's not true. So first thing you want to do is investigate. And then the next thing you want to do to start drilling a new belief, the first step is awareness. So first you want to be aware, like, is this belief even true in the first place? Like, am I a good leader? Yes, probably. Whatever. Number 2, question it and investigate it. Is this the truth? Okay, let's go with no, I'm not a good leader. Is this the truth? No, it's not the truth. So then you're going to rewrite it and pull from references that you know are true. So do you enroll customers? Do you enroll distributors? Do you step up when you're nervous? Like all of these different things that come into leadership or what you think to be leadership. Like it can be something so small, but like rewrite it. And then the fourth thing is declare it. So again, we're going to be aware that the belief is even there in the first place. Then you're going to question it and investigate it. Say, is this belief true? And then you're going to say, no, it's not. So then you're going to rewrite it and you're going to say, I am an amazing leader. I am a confident leader. People look up to me. I am influential to other people. And then your fourth step is to declare it. Like you want to make sure that this is drilled in your brain. And one of the biggest ways to do this is to like write it down, see it everywhere. Like not only speak it to yourself, but like literally visualize it and look at it every single day. So that's one of the things that Emily's going to talk on a little bit more is like our sticky notes and why we place them where we do and why we look at them every single day.
Wow, guys. I was like, do you guys like, you guys are, this is like minimal of what we've been like learning and going through. And like just listening to them talk again, and I'm learning this too. It's just like, it's so powerful because we preach like self-development and growth all the time, but I feel like we don't really dig deep enough into it, you know? So just sitting here and, you know, affirming and saying out loud these positive things, or, you know, I've had people tell, just think positive. I'm like, think positive, have faith. Yeah, you know, I don't disagree. But sometimes I know for a fact, some humans or all of you, that we gotta get down to this. So I actually jumped ahead and I jumped ahead because I was in another world and I was writing what was on my sticky notes in here. So I'm gonna have to rewrite them. But we're gonna take these empowering thoughts is what we're sticking to there. There's so many keywords in this. We're gonna take those positive thoughts. Let's just stick it to that. So the number 4, right? So declaring it, saying out loud, writing it down, and we're gonna take these, and again, I'll rewrite them, some of mine, and we can all write them and bring the energy in the chat, and we're gonna put them on sticky notes. So if you guys don't have them, it's fine. I have like 5 million. So if you guys want to come over and take some, you totally can. So these are the new ones that I did. And it's crazy because I used to have sticky notes like everywhere. So I thought, but we just moved, but they were only like in my office. They weren't, and what did, if you guys remember before, I was saying like I actually just started to sit in my office. So how many times was I like actually seeing these things? And even recently, although I'm in my office more, and I was telling the girls I can't even like see the outline of my computer because there's so many sticky notes. It's like when I'm in this place, I usually have like a semi-good switch because like I'm in my working zone. But I feel like, me personally, when I need it the most, and I suggest you guys too, is putting it elsewhere, right? And maybe some of the things that you're writing down are like super vulnerable. So if you live with other people, and some of it is personal, of course, then, put those things in your office or somewhere, like for yourself. But I would try to branch out in some way, shape, or form. So if it's the thought of you're a little like shy or embarrassed because you don't know like your husband's gonna say, or like your roommate or whatever is gonna say, your parents are gonna say, or whatever, but it's not as personal and it's encouraging, put it up somewhere for them to see it, because I put mine in my bathroom, and Aaron said something to me the other day, and he was like, I've been reading them because every time he's on the toilet, they're like right in front of, this is like literally our toilet is right here. So all of them are right here. So now he's starting to read them. And shout out to Stacy. I was having this conversation with someone else before, but Stacy had or has sticky notes still in her fridge. I'm like, wow, it's powerful. I open up the fridge a lot. You guys don't have to go that crazy, but these are just really some ideas for, you're in your bathroom like literally every single day, right? Morning, night. So I just suggest that, but I'm going to read you guys off some of mine, and I can type them again after I'm done and we're going over more. But I was also telling the girls like this, sorry, my dog's going nuts. This task, I guess you can say, was very hard for me. Like, this is very hard for me. In the last year, I've really had to come to terms that I was not being vulnerable enough in my life. I always talked about as if I was not an emotional person, and like a joke would be with my friends, and many of my friends and family know, like, if you see Emily cry or get emotional and she's serious, like something must not be right. And I've come to find, and I'm sure some of you may relate to this. Some of you are like, oh, I wish I had that problem. I've come to find that this was something that I created for myself. I wasn't born that way. Like, I wasn't born not emotional, right? So something had happened in some way, shape, or form where I've created this habit that I've never really gotten into and try to fix, and I have in the last 2 weeks. So I'm gonna just read now. All right, so these are the ones that I have. All right, give me a second, guys. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. All right. My body is fit, toned, and in shape. Every day I build strong muscle. I am fueling my body with exercise and diet. Another one. I attract wealth daily. I love numbers and numbers love me. I am a money magnet. My other one is I'm a leader of leaders. I lead with level 10 confidence and energy daily. My other one says the opinions of other people are irrelevant. I am aware of my gift to the world and I share it freely. And then the last one is, I have unshakable faith. My income is increasing constantly. I can look at my volume and my finances without fear. So I kind of like broke these down to different categories. Again, we're not going to go into too much detail with that, but you guys can break it down into whatever you want. But I want you guys to take notice that like some are specific, right? I guess like certain categories, but they're also pretty broad. So instead of being overwhelmed with like a certain positive thought, for example, I've been like really hard on myself with like my fitness and working out. I used to be like super athletic, and now I'm working on 15 sit-ups and push-ups, right? So having this like image in my mind. So I said, my body is fit, toned, and in shape, right? Or every day I build stronger muscle. I am fueling my body with exercise and diet. Or I feel my body, I'm fueling my body with something healthy every day. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So like, that's just how I kind of did it. And don't like get overwhelmed if this is challenging to you right now. Like, I didn't do this in 2 seconds, right? So feel free to like take ideas in the chat, share yours, work off of them. I'm not even kidding you guys. I like Googled like positive affirmations, and I really like took the time to transform mine for myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, do you guys want to share more of yours?
I'm kind of like typing them in the chat as I go, but this is what mine looks like. Can I switch? Yeah. So mine is literally just around my mirror in my room, and obviously you can see my bed right here. So it's literally like the first thing I look at when I wake up is my empowering beliefs. So I always show up at a level 10. I am in control of my thoughts. I celebrate every win, big or small. I feel amazing in my body. I always have an attitude of gratitude. I am a top 30 income earner. I am a money magnet. I am a confident leader. Where my focus goes, my energy flows. I am present in every situation. I am intentional with my time. I have an abundant amount of energy. And then life, I love this one. Life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. So those are mine.
I want to add this in too really quick. I don't know if you guys just heard my alarm go off, but I set these affirmations as alarms in my phone as well. So, if I'm on the go, I'm not home during the day, my phone is going off like every so many hours with affirmations that I put into my phone. And then also the I Am app. It's free, but that app is amazing. You can do the free version, and it literally just sends you notifications, like push notifications throughout the day. You can set what time you want them to start, what time you want it to end, how many you want to send you. And that app, I've gotten a lot of really good feedback from it. I actually think Elisa shared it with us, so shout out to her. I think she's the one that showed it to me, and it helps me so much. It's crazy because it'll pop up at the perfect moment. I swear it can read my mind. It's insane. And you can even put in like what type of affirmations you want to send you. So don't limit it to just your house, right? Make them so you can see them all the time. You can put them in your car. Like I literally used to have it like above the radio in my car. So every time I get in my car, I was seeing affirmations as well. Like something else that she talks about later in the program is immersion, and immersion is so important. Like if you think about if you've ever taken a foreign language, like drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever taken a foreign language. Right? Most of you probably have. I'm pretty sure it's like a requirement. How many of you are fluent in that foreign language? And it does not count if you're like actually bilingual. Like that does not count. Like I'm talking about, yeah, no one, right? Because you didn't immerse yourself in the language. But imagine you moved to Spain, you would probably learn Spanish, right? Because you would have to. You're immersed in the language. You don't have an option. So you have to do the same thing with your mindset. You have to immerse yourself in these empowering beliefs. And that's not to say that limiting beliefs aren't going to come up. They are, but now you're aware of them. So whenever they can come up, and I got this years ago, you literally say no or come up with a word that you say out loud, and then you re-say that word. So every time, maybe you're charting and you're like, oh, like this is just impossible. No, I make the possible happen, right? Or no, I am a mass distributor and roller. Like I attract rock stars to my team, right? And you say it out loud. But now that you're aware of these thoughts, whenever they start to creep in, you get to tell them to go away, right? And you have to be intentional with it because they are going to come up and it's not easy. But again, it's a choice. Are you going to feed into these beliefs or are you going to be better? Because now that you know better, you can do better.
Yeah, and Tony talks about like going off of that, like disrupting them. So literally, like Allie said, if you have a belief creeping into your mind that's super negative or something that's not true, like for me, like, oh, I'm always tired on Zooms and like, oh, I can't pay attention on Zooms because I get so tired. Like I disrupted that pattern. I disrupted that belief by standing up. And like I feel so much better since I've started doing that. So I challenge each and every one of you the next time you're in the dance and you're like, ooh, I could stay comfortable or I could puke and rally and do that thing that I've always wanted to do, but I've been so nervous to do and I've been so anxious about it. Like I challenge you to do it and then do it again and do it again and see how you feel after, because I guarantee you it's just going to get easier and you are going to feel so good after you do it.
Love it. And again, I really want to remind you guys that start small, right? Like, please, like when I say making your bed, like for an example, and that may not even be small to some of you, right? Like that's just what I'm thinking. Like sometimes it's hard for me to make my bed because I'm so used to Aaron making it every day. Is that an excuse? 100%, right? So don't be afraid to start small, and that's what we're suggesting for sure. But I want to just we said we weren't going to go into this, but I'm going to go into it really quick because I think it's important. It's relatable. So and I don't want to confuse you guys even more. I just want to kind of like open up your minds a little bit so that you have a little more to think about when you are like going back and thinking about these empowering and disempowering thoughts and making your sticky notes. Because the way that I read my sticky notes off, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I said, they were kind of like different categories. So this personally helped me out a ton. And they have this chart, and I could send, I have these on my iPad, so I can comment in like the post that I made for this Zoom. But, they gave us like certain categories to think about when you guys are, talking about these patterns that are going on in your life and your beliefs. But so your physical body, finances, your career, your mission, relationships, time, contribution, and emotions. So I talked to you guys about like my emotions, my story behind that. So that's where like I got it from, because I have these categories. And for me, sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of us are very visual. So having something like this to work through for each. They actually had us choose, I think it was like 2 or 3 just to focus on. But I think just like having something and breaking it down will help you guys, because that helped me a lot. So for example, like your paycheck and your goal, right? So for me, I didn't realize that me sucking with my finances actually has a lot to do with my money goals that I have, like certain debt I want to pay off and potentially my paycheck, right? These like all come together, and I never like personally thought that way. So again, I'm going to send you guys this, and would you guys like to like meet again and do like something like this again and go like beyond what we did tonight, or maybe like go over a little bit, recap, and then go on more? All right, cool. That makes us happy. I feel like I can't talk more because I'll keep going off. But do you girls want to say anything else? Allie or Marley, you guys did amazing. So can you guys like thank them, because they did awesome. And I appreciate each and every one of you for getting on, and you guys too, again, for being open and being vulnerable with us, because this is something, just like Marley said, is out of our comfort zones too. So we appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll meet back up again. We gotta like find a place where we can like send pictures of our sticky notes and stuff. Maybe we'll make like a Telegram group chat or something, and we can all just like do it there. But all right, guys, thank you all for getting on and showing up. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you all have a good night. Bye.